This video is brought to you by Roguedeckbuilder.com. Purchase a playmat today and help us make the move to our new studio. We have over 10 playmats to choose from. Visit Roguedeckbuilder.com. Hi there, it's Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com, continuing the top 10 cards that I am going to miss post-rotation. Coming in at number 9, this one is more of a regretted choice rather than a card that I've actually brewed a lot around. If you go back in my history, I have tried to make this card work in numerous decks, but it hasn't really been successful. This card is Duskmantle Seer. Ever since this card was spoiled, I really thought that the sheer power level of a 4 mana for a 4/4 flyer would definitely be able to see play in Standard, but unfortunately, I think it's been too hostile for mid-range creatures that don't really get immediate value, and the blue-black has been kind of a weird archetype for creature-based decks. We've seen blue-black in Esper control, and not many other uses, a few bug control lists here and there, but I want to give Duskmantle Seer one more hoorah to try and make it work, or at least have some fun with it before it rotates. So anyway, I'll pull it up here on MTGO. Here we have the 4 of Duskmantle Seers here. 4 of these bad boys. I'm thinking about Illusionary Angel. The best shell I thought to put Duskmantle Seer was the mono blue aggro deck that I did not too long ago for playing on a budget. And just try to splash in black as effectively as possible. I don't know if the mana base is going to be is too screwed up. We are running 2 mana confluences to help out, but the temples might not be the right choice for this deck as they do come into play tapped. We'll have to definitely check those, and Water Give, of course, is an auto include. We also have the 4 of Islands and 3 of Swamps, getting our land count up to 21. This deck is going to utilize Bouncing Ornithopter still, so we're going to use 3 copies of Ornithopter, although I have cut down the copies of Rapid Hybridization, Fairy Imposter, and Quickling, so I don't know how, and even Illusionary Angel, so I don't know how well actually this Ornithopter build will work. We might actually just want to go into more of a blue temple, but Fairy Imposter is incredibly powerful if you can get it out on turn 1 with the Ornithopter. Of course, Claflin Raptor is still going to be our best card in this deck as it's going to continue to be evolved by basically anything you play. Running Judge's Familiars, I might actually want to cut a Judge's Familiar for another Fairy Imposter, but I thought that, it really sets your opponent back. It gets in there for 1 damage per turn a lot of times before they... it usually does like 3-4 damage before they can deal with it. Military Intelligence will trigger the Judge's Familiar and even an Ornithopter attacking, so I still wanted that route. And then, of course, we're curving out a Duskmantle Seer at 4. I don't know if we should put more lands in here or not. Duskmantle Seer at 4 mana is a little bit iffy, but that's kind of how our Illusionary Angel was. That way, it's kind of like we're running 5 Illusionary Angels here, or at least that 4-drop, 4/4 flying spot. You can get Illusionary Angel out on 3rd turn with a well-timed Ornithopter, but most likely it's going to be with like a Thoughtseize or Rapid Hybridization or whatnot, or like Judge's Familiar. We have 2 of Gnarled Scarhide because I thought this was the best card I could try to bestow onto something. I thought about putting cards like Tormented Hero in here or even Painseer, but then it just doesn't really fit into our tempo type deck. So I have added a little more control in here with Ultimate Price, a Doomblade, just 1 of Ultimate Price, 1 of Doomblade, and a Far and Away, 2 of those, and then we still have the Rapid Hybridizations, we still have a Dispel, we still have a Negate. So 24 creatures, we have 21 lands, and then we have 15 other spells in here that I'm thinking, yeah, I'm hoping will be enough of a tempo fill to actually tempo out our opponent. So going on to the sideboard here, I think I'm going to add some Ashioks now I'm looking at it. You want to bring in Ashiok versus the heavy control list, maybe. Bring it in versus some other creature-based decks. I'm going to bring in 2 Ashioks, and I think we might just cut a Woodlock Crawler and a Lightbane Zombie. I just really love this Woodlock Crawler against green decks, but I think bringing in maybe 1 of each of these is fine, and we'll bring in 2 more Ashioks. The Lightbane Zombie kind of competes with that slot. If you're going to go up against a green deck, you're probably going to bring in both of them. So I just want to try Ashiok. It's a card that I've always really wanted to see a home, and it's been in sideboards at best in decks that I've brewed, as it's just been too hard to really utilize. So I got a Mizium Skin, just a 1-of. I like a lot of 1-ofs in decks because then people play around just the 1-ofs. We have the 2 of Negate sideboard. I think Negate is one of the most powerful cards in Standard right now. Every deck that you play against, whether it be Mono Black Devotion or Jund Planeswalker, or Boros Burn, or even Rabblemaster Red has very, very good cards you can negate. Nissa can be negated, and Jund Planeswalker, you can negate Underworld Connections, Doomblade. In Mono Black Devotion, you can negate even the Stoke the Flames. In Rabblemaster and Boros Burn, you can negate basically everything. Usually War Leader's Helix is the card that you hold that up. BioBlight we're going to keep in versus any sort of the aggressive decks we can bring it in. Again, I don't know if this should be the Warped Mind instead. Other than this can hit multiple targets. And we have 2 more Thoughtseizes, 2 Duresses in the sideboard. Again, Thoughtseize in this deck isn't a must. It's nice if you have one. You don't want to get overran with too many Thoughtseizes, so I just put in 2 here. So I have not even played this deck. This is completely just out of the top of my head trying to get Duskmantle Seer. So you're seeing a fresh deck here that hopefully will hold its own. We'll have to wait and see if Duskmantle Seer actually can be worth its weight in this deck. Again, I'm a little hesitant about the 4-drop. But, I mean, the good thing about this is you're going to be getting in for 1-1-1-1-1. I mean, little teeny increments of damage. And Duskmantle Seer might be able to get in for that last huge swing. Or, again, incremental loss of life. With this deck, we don't have really any way to gain life. So Duskmantle Seer is a bit of an issue there. But we do have cards like Ornithopter and a bunch of 1-drops. It's not going to hurt us too bad compared to our opponent. I mean, we can actually look I know there's a converted mana cost here somewhere. Oh, man. I'll have to figure it out here. I know there's a way to actually look up. Is it under properties? Oh, there we go. So we can look at the mana curve here. So 18 at the 1-drop. We have 5 spells at the 0. What's the other spells besides Ornithopter at 0 slot? I wonder what it's trying to count there, because that's not accurate. Maybe it's trying to count Flesh, Blood, or Far and Away. And yeah, and then our 2, so I mean our 1-drop is definitely filled full of plenty of 1-drops for our Duskmantle Seer not to kill us. So I mean, yep, there's a little bit of, wow, geez, that's a terrible sample hand of 4 lands there. So anywho, we will go ahead and play some games here with the deck and see how well it runs, and then make necessary changes. But again, this is for the top 10 list. This is the Duskmantle Seer, a card that I wish I would have brewed more with. This has been Kevin with Roguedeckbuilder.com. Thanks for watching.